Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of the Limitless course. This is a course on productivity and discipline. If you're just coming to this video, check out the previous lessons. They'll help you to understand and get more out of this one. And make sure that you subscribe to get everything. Click the bell icon as well. Otherwise you won't get notified when new video lessons come out and other videos that I'm creating. You can also get email notified, but let's get into it. How do you stop procrastinating and get things done? Well, the first thing you got to do is look at the external influences around you. There are different ways that we are influenced. One is internal, our thoughts, our psychology, our feeling. But the other way that we're influenced are by the external things around us. So the temperature in the room, if it's too high, is going to make you feel hot and more tired. Studies actually show that a lower room temperature between about 20 degrees and 21 degrees is the optimal room temperature. I prefer to have it a little bit colder so I don't get tired. But also things like people, the conversations that we listen to, the way that people behave around us. You know, if you're around people who in your school, for example, are not focused on getting the most out of every lesson and being a geek and being, you know, the person at the front of the classroom that supposedly isn't going to be cool, which I think you can be, and is just focused on messing around, versus the student who, you know, gets there 10 minutes early, sits quietly, isn't trying to draw attention to themselves, and is just focused. Your external influences have a very big impact on the kind of person that you are. So if you want to stop procrastinating and get things done, one of the easiest hacks is you don't have to read any more books. You don't need to do anything special. Just go hang out with the kind of person that you want to be like. Look in your environment, look at your contacts in your phone and look at who is it that I could go to the library with? Who could I go to the gym with? Who could I work on my business with day to day? Who do I want to sit next to at work? Because those things are going to start to rub off on you. Now, imagine for a second that you could hang out with Will Smith every single day. Pretty cool guy. You can imagine how productive and focused he is. Or somebody like Shami Chakrabarti or Malala Yousafzai, whoever it is you want to be like, those people are going to have an influence on you. Now, the other external influence around you is just going to be the environment that you're in. And we're going to talk more about that a little bit later, but I just wanted to mention it when we're looking at this category of external influences. You have to mention the environment. You know, working in your pajamas in a messy room is very different to working in a well-lit room with a candle, maybe an incense stick burning, because it's going to help you to just focus that little bit more and have that extra edge. Another thing that we often don't do is focus on our pain points enough. There are different ways that people are motivated. One of them is by pain, things that we don't want and we want to avoid, and things that we do want and that we want more of. So for example, if we look at the example I used earlier, running your own business or studying, both of those require a certain level of work ethic for you to succeed. Now, if I'm running a business and I'm not making any money, there are certain ramifications to that sometimes we become a bit comfortable. We might be a bit safe. Maybe you're living, you know, with your parents or your family, so you don't have to pay bills. And so you're comfortable. You don't see the impact of not getting paid every month because you know you're still gonna eat. So sometimes what you can do is continue to light the fire under your ass to make you more motivated. Because when you look at, well, what happens if things stay the same? If you stay exactly where you are right now, at the level that you're at, and you don't earn more, you don't make more sales, your business doesn't grow, what happens? And often we fail to realize is that there is no such thing as staying still in a world that is constantly evolving. A biological being that isn't changing, that isn't evolving, is dead. Only a leaf or, you know, a dead body, a corpse, is not evolving. But any biological being in this world, it continues to evolve. And so if you're not doing that, you're moving backwards. Imagine that you're on an escalator that's going backwards. And in order to just stay in the same place, you have to keep taking steps. So in order to get ahead, you've got to really push and double down and find those extra areas where you can improve your business or improve the way that you study. So the second thing that I want to mention in this video is get that pain and feel it to get you more motivated. The third one is a really big one, and it's about your identity. Most people, when they're trying to stop procrastinating and they want to get things done, they focus on the tactical things. So for example, I need to improve my social media to get more sales. I need to go to the library to work as a better student. But what if I told you there is a much more powerful way, and there's actually something deeper that is holding you back, and that is your identity. When I first started my business, let me talk about myself for a second here to give you some personal examples. I used to see myself as a YouTuber, and I didn't really think of myself as anything beyond that. Where I see myself now is I'm a filmmaker, and I'm also a social innovator. Now, think about the ramifications of those different identities. When I was just thinking of myself as this little old YouTuber in the corner somewhere, not doing things that are very serious or should be taken seriously, I didn't think it was that deep. And so, how is somebody else going to appreciate the work that I'm putting in? But also, it's going to limit the level of professionalism and the way that I show up. Whereas now, when I think of myself as a filmmaker, I'm thinking about different shots I can use, my lighting, my audio, how I present visually the information, and looking at myself as a social innovator. I'm not just thinking as one business owner in one company, I'm looking at my entire macro environment. So you can use this for yourself. If you're somebody that believes, I don't really go to the gym, to be honest, I'm lazy. Well, you are starting on the back foot, because immediately what you are telling yourself is that I'm just not that kind of person. I'm just not the kind of person that does meal prep. And so you're more likely to sabotage yourself later on. And when we change, when we become somebody different, we have to shed that old identity. I did a collaboration with Absolute Motivation recently, and I talked about this, the shedding of one shell into the next and the next and the next. And if you haven't seen it, I'll link it in the description, but that's what change is all about. If you want to stop procrastinating, if you want to get things done and really stay consistent and be limitless like this course is about, you have to let go of something in order to gain something. You've got to take that leap, both internally in your identity, but also externally in the things that you do. And we want to start internally because change happens from the inside out, not from the outside in. The next thing when it comes to preventing procrastination and amplifying what you get done is the difference between choosing safety over fear. And when I say fear, let me also add in the word here of discomfort. Often there are things that we are required to do. For example, coming here and filming for the day on my own, or going to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, or going through my textbook and making notes on the things that I need to learn. Now, one of those things, one of those behaviors is going to require a certain level of discomfort, and the default option is normally going to be safety. So, for example, with your diet or with going to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, we all know it's so much easier to just stay under the covers where it's nice and snuggly and warm. It doesn't require any amount of effort because it's safe, it's comfortable. But in order to wake up, especially when you're tired, and I have so many, there's countless days where I feel this, but then I realize I have to choose discomfort. If I don't stay uncomfortable and I'm not comfortable in that discomfort, I'm not growing. There is no growth in safety, but there is tons of growth in challenging yourself. There is tons of growth in being uncomfortable and trying different things. Even if you take it as simple as, it's easy to listen to the same music you've always listened to, or talk to the same people that you always talk to. But it's hard to go up and talk to somebody different, even on your commute in the morning, or at the bus stop, or just at work, to find a new friend and change your reality. And the more that we are looking for that new fix, that new 5%, we're going to learn something. Whereas when we stay in our cocoon, our echo chamber, and this is a big problem at the moment in our society, is we talk to the same people and it leads to a confirmation bias of believing in the same things. Whereas when you choose discomfort, you're looking at it from a different angle, from a different point of view. And one of the things that we really need to realize in our own lives, let alone in politics or the social state of affairs in our world, is that we want to keep changing things. We want to keep switching them up. When you go to the gym, if you keep doing the same thing, benching the same weight, running for the same speed at the same amount of time, you're going to get the same results. But to get something different, you've got to do something different. And that means being uncomfortable. So get comfortable with it. The next point relates to what I talked about with identity and sort of hinted at earlier. And that is that often our deep-rooted ideas about change are what sabotage us. So for example, if I want to get a six-pack and I want to become more toned and I want to get lean and ripped, like we see so many videos about on the internet and so many ads, some of us may believe that, in order to go on a diet, I'll have to starve myself. And it's that deep-rooted belief, that core belief about what change means for us, that actually blocks us. There's been many people that I've worked with and coached who believe, if I become too successful, I'm afraid because, what if somebody starts attacking my character, or that thing I did 10 years ago, they dig up from my social media and it comes back to haunt me. And so that fear of the consequences of change, it forces us to keep choosing the safety I talked about in the earlier video. And that then reinforces the fear of discomfort, the fear of failure. We talked about this in the previous lesson in this course, and the fear of change. But change means that it's unanticipated. It's different. You don't know what's going to be happening. It is wholly and largely uncertain. And that is both the beauty and the discomfort of it. There's no way around that. My final point is a very simple one, but something that's very, very overlooked. And I think often when we look at lists like this and videos like this, we think of you're expecting something different, but sometimes the basics, the simple things are just the most effective. And this one is lack of sleep and poor diet. Now, I'm not going to quote the specific studies because so much research has been done into both, but having a lack of sleep, even just getting 6 hours over a 2-week period versus 7 hours, has a massive difference. And we are very, very bad at noticing that. What happens is we cumulatively build up that sleep debt. So if you stay up for 6 hours, you sleep only for 6 hours and you miss that 1 hour, and your body genetically just needs, because of your lifestyle, 7 hours to fully recover and be rejuvenated for the next day, that hour accumulates. And so by the end of the week, you are missing a whole night's worth of sleep. And that is the equivalent to being drunk. That's how much it impairs our judgment, our creativity, our focus. Now, think about a high pressure situation that you may be in. Exams, public speaking, presenting things, sales calls, just even being focused and present in a day-to-day conversation. These things all require the best of us to show up to get those things done. So even before you've started your day, you've set yourself up to fall into that trap by not getting enough sleep. I did an experiment a couple of years ago where I just looked at naturally, based on my lifestyle, how many hours does my body need? And I found it was between 7 hours and 8 hours, and it fluctuates, it's not the same. And then coming over to diet, hydration is absolutely important. Can't stress that enough when most of your body is made up of water. So you've got to keep replenishing that and removing the toxins. But also, having a heavy, high carbohydrate meal where it takes your body a long time to digest it, and then trying to focus and then trying to revise, what's going to happen? You're going to feel sleepy. And then you're going to beat yourself up because you're procrastinating again. And then again, you've reinforced the identity that, I'm just a lazy student. And that's how our psychology so often works, that we are a walking accident. where we are not the cause of who we are. We are the effect of all these random factors. And so we just end up as, this mishmash of things that we are not in control of. And that's what this course and these videos are ultimately all about, is giving you that power back so you move from a victim to an owner of your reality. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, but before we end, make sure you subscribe and you click the bell icon, or you won't know when the next video is released in this course. We are almost halfway through, and let me know in the comments below, what was the most useful thing in this video? What was the thing that you think you need to apply most? And just like a bee, absorb the things that were useful, discard what wasn't, and add what is uniquely your own. See you in the next lesson. Peace.